Oh goodness. So the Rupprecht is the tier 9 of the German battle cruiser line. So she's armed with hydroacoustic search, which is not as far out as the FDG. She's got great secondaries. Her main battery is nice. Her biggest weakness, of course, is armor. Two streams? Oh god, no. Um, so yeah, she's a fun boat, but she's just like the Schlieffen. She doesn't want to be focused down by too many ships, and so this is a ranked battle, and frankly, ranked is a great place to play the Ruprecht because there's fewer enemies to shoot back at you. So it looks to me like you've gone full secondary setup, auxiliary mod, secondary battery, and even auxiliary modification in the last slot. And then you've got damage control, propulsion, and concealment here. Nothing wrong with this.
All right.
The thing about this line of ships is that when you commit and you basically engage, you go all the way. There's no stopping once you start. So propulsion makes sense here, and everything else works fine. There's your hydro, which reaches out to 5.5 kilometer. Is this Lutyens?
Oh yeah. If whenever
Now,
it's ranked, I was Lutyens over to the ship for this, and I take
Right.
it off Schlieffen mode here. Yeah.
I know
Right.
it's a great secondary line, but I'm not convinced on the auxiliary mod in the last slot.
I mean,
I think
You
I'd
could change
still
it for main
take the
battery.
reload there.
you could change it for main battery. I mean, honestly, it comes down to which of these two you prefer doing. Usually auxiliary, I agree with you, is not as helpful damage-wise. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the end result of this battle. And granted, it's only one battle, but we can talk about, did the secondaries do more talking, or did the main battery do more talking, right? Anyway, Lutyens is absolutely, like, we had a discussion on this on my Discord lately. Lutyens is best on the Schlieffen, bar none. Z52 is a close second, and then there's other choices, in my opinion.
No, the close second is the Elbe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you've got preventative maintenance, and that's a buffed preventative maintenance because it's Lutyens, so you get 15% extra, which is nice, and then you also get better. I think it's normally, is it 10% or 15% normal? Yeah, it's another 5% for secondaries and anti-air. And obviously, for you, Lutyens with preventative maintenance, it keeps your torpedoes alive better and also keeps your secondaries alive better. And if you're investing this much into your secondaries, you want your secondaries to live. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I can
IFHE,
probably switch out that first mod back to main battery, just to protect the torpedoes more instead of
If
the
you want-
secondaries. But
yeah.
Honestly, I think your torpedoes on this ship line is gonna die no matter what because they are not very well protected.
Right. What most people do is they want to just... So, torpedoes have that RNG hit point pool, which is fun. But secondaries don't. So, I agree with Grunty here. Just keep auxiliary mods on and don't worry about it. Don't think about it.
yeah.
And then we move down to... So, then you've got IFHE. Now, IFHE is good because for secondaries, you need your 105 millimeter guns to penetrate 32 millimeters of armor, which requires IFHE. 150s do automatically, but you need these 105s to do so. So that's why IFHE is here. Now you do lose your fire damage, your fire chance, but you can bring that back through flags and just as well. Then you go secondaries, adrenaline rush, concealment. Now you have a choice between fire prevention and emergency repair. Concealment is important because concealment brings you down to 12.25 kilometer detection, and your secondaries range is 12. So basically, if you're spotted, your secondaries are firing. That's why concealment is so important here. So you have a choice between emergency repair and fire prevention. It's a choice. You have to decide between the two of them. And you went for emergency repair expert, which does a couple of things. It increases the time of your repair party, increases the action time of your damage control party, but it also gives you one each of extra of those consumables. The reason why that's important is because on the Schlieffen line, the battle cruiser line, you have a finite number of DCP charges. So this goes to 5 instead of 4, which makes perfect sense. Hey, Big O. For flags, you've gone without Julia Charlie. This is ranked. Do you really want to win?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's battleships and detonating is like ultra rare. But it hasn't really happened in this ship. It's actually
I'm
happened
just
more
saying.
often in Masashi than this.
I'm just saying, if you want to win, put the flag on and not worry about it.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I always use it on the DDs. It's always on the DDs, but it's never really on them.
Right.
Plus, I'm also like I'm hitting that point where I'm starting to run low. You know, once I start dipping under 100, I kind of stop using those flags until they just naturally build back up.
That's fair, because you got clan battles you want to use them for and stuff.
Yeah.
You want to be brawling in the ship and get up close, so I think the ramming flag gets especially useful on this, though, because, like, you're probably gonna have an opportunity to ram.
Yep. These two flags are the only two you're missing, in my opinion. Well, hold on. I see right now.
There's the cooldown reduction missing as well.
Yes. I would drop the Hydro action time and pick up cooldown. I might go for something like this. I think this is good. You don't have room for your flags for fire chance, but that's okay because it's only 1%. So.
Yeah, normally actually I'm running the cooldown one, but actually that's another one that's I'm dipping under 100.
A fire flag is actually, like, assuming you take the fire chance flags for the secondaries, it's only 0.5%, so it's even less.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
No need to everything when you set their HP to 0.
Normally I do run the consumable reduction one. Pretty much on all the battleships, but that's another one that's running low too.
Okay. Here we have a fellow initial D enjoyer.
Yeah.
Sorry, hujam, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's just my rule when I'm playing. There's a couple flags that have thousands of, and there's certain ones like that are used across a lot of ships that I'm starting to. Yeah.
So what I do is every month I buy those flags that I'm low on using the coupon. And that's it. And I would say if you're trying to conserve flags, well, if you're trying to win, I would say just use them all. If you're not trying to win or kind of sort of trying to win, I just, if you're not going to use a det flag, I kind of feel like there's no need to use anything else. But
it feels bad putting up full flags, right, and then just detonating. Like,
exactly.
It's even worse than not having any flag on.
Exactly. Anyway, let's get into the replay. I already took the screenshot.
I hate detonation flags. Like, I wish I wouldn't need to use them. It's a stupid mechanic.
Remember, instead of auxiliary modification, he could also go for magazine modification that reduces your risk of detonating by 70%.
Yeah, but 70 is not 0.
Right, so nobody ever uses it. In terms of your setup, Iowa versus Pommern, advantage Pommern. You versus Alsace, advantage you. Okay, so battleship-wise, you're about even. Let's talk about your cruisers. Santander versus Azuma. I would probably put a little bit of a benefit on the Azuma, assuming the Azuma knows how to play, and the Santander, Santander in the right hands can be played properly, but Azuma I think is a little bit better. Siegfried versus Alaska, I'd probably put the advantage on the Alaska. Rune versus Schroeder, 100% the advantage on the Schroeder. So, yay. And then Schultz versus Black, advantage your Black, big time.
Right.
Big time.
And plus, he's one of your clan members too, right?
I was gonna mention that. Yes, he's part of the Kraken Below, which is Kraken's subclan, and Bitwiser is a very experienced player. So okay, what
Honestly,
matters?
And honestly, between the lineups, between the cruisers and everything, I also noticed like this is for me personally playing this game a lot, and all the, especially ranked. I recognize two ranked legends on the other team. So
Oh, really? Who are those people?
Cuervo and Doctor, which I'm pretty sure if anybody else in the chat will probably recognize them too.
Okay. So usually when you recognize people, we're not here to stat shame, but when you recognize people in ranked, it's because you run into them a lot and
Right.
enough to notice their names. If that's the case, I would probably put the advantage on the Santander instead of the Azuma based off of that information.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're into our game.
When I play this, I don't know if the last time I did the Rupprecht on the same map before with the same rank replay with this ship, but I'm going the same way I always go with to that one island, and then as I approach, I'll either turn in or turn out depending on where the other team's going. And like really just come this way directly here. Any DD that pops up in the middle, if the other DD can spot them, my secondaries are on them right away.
Yep.
That's just the general gameplay with any secondary boat in this map particularly. If I spawn on this right where I normally spawn, if I'm spawning more to the other side, I go the other way. But generally around the same area to where this middle area is going to get secondaries if anybody's going to show up there.
Well, and this is where you want to be in a Rupprecht. You want to be able to threaten this whole part of the map, and especially now that you see there's a heal to your left. Like whatever's in the middle, like you generally want, but you want the heals in arms race. So I like that you're kind of pushing up to this island here. You're taking a shot on the Schroeder just in case. You got your secondaries on the Azuma. That's fine. Mud's women. Azuma's not bad. I agree.
You know, Azuma can be scary, but at the same time, if they're just going to sail broadside, just not going to make it. Here are some luck chuck prediction torps, just in case.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. That's what I'm doing right here. These are just like luck chuck if they're going to either stay behind the island or put someone close and little one on somebody else. Generally, kind of like a widespread to where they might clip a DD or whatever.
So, in any game, knowing your opponent is very important. If you know, like, the player that's in a certain ship, then you generally have an idea of how much they can do. You should be healing, by the way. I don't know why you're not.
The ship is on fire.
There you go. Little delayed reaction there. Oh, your Alaska's almost dead already. What happened to him?
Not really sure. I think he might have pushed too hard.
Torps probably. Hey, Nova Galaxy, doing ops? That's my plan after this is done. That should have been a lot more damage, but it's a secret.
With this guy, I always know if you ever shoot him once, he tends to turn away and run in the other direction. So one of those torps hit, yeah.
Okay. Now you've got smoke you can take advantage of for a few seconds. There goes your Santander. It's fine, Nova, don't worry. And of course you only hit with 2 overpens. Yay.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that nobody on your team went for the heal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Siegfried is down.
And here's like the biggest mismatch ever. French battleship against one of these German. Battle cruisers.
Now you torpedoed already, I think, from your left side.
Right. That's to catch the other ones if they're actually going to go cross that island or not. Or if they're going to go for that buff.
So Alsace has 32 millimeters of armor all around. So your IFHE is absolutely very important here to keep, chewing into that armor. Also, you should be healing as soon as that's on cooldown. You're taking a little bit of time here. Again, this is the second time you're delayed your heal.
Let's see if it comes back to bite him in the end.
Right, exactly. All right, so reload ship, reload speed, upgrade picked. The enemy Pommern didn't even go for the heal. How much did you pay this Pommern?
He actually survives this whole game until the very end,
Look.
surprisingly.
He would have
We all
gotten the
know
heal.
it. The caps are
Unbelievable.
lava, and buffs are just like caps.
Jeez. All right, well, you're going to shoot the Alsace up the butt. A little low here. I might shoot a little bit higher just to ensure. Yeah, 6 ricochets. You're too low.
Yeah.
So, what you did, for those of you guys who don't understand, I'm just going to break free here and just... I want to show this because I think a lot of people don't understand. When you're angling... When you're shooting a target like this, you aimed... Well, basically right where your secondary is hitting, right? You aimed right about here. This is the strongest side armor plating of a battleship. I mean, cruiser too. Hell, even some destroyers is going to be midships right on the side. So what you want to do is you actually want to aim for here. This is the rear quadrant of the ship. If you can hit about like right here, bam, you'll penetrate the rear. You might even get into the citadel with that. Might, depending on the armor scheme of the enemy ship. So you either aim here, or you aim higher. You aim for the upper belt. Instead of the lower belt, like right waterline, which is where you shot, you aim like about here. If you can hit it here, there's usually a lower armor scheme on the upper belt, or you can hit the superstructure, and that causes much more damage.
Yeah, isn't he
So.
rather low? I just goes guaranteed
Yes, the
superstructure
Alsace is at
here.
5,000, so literally,
Yeah,
he's going to
I should
die.
have either aimed high. Yeah, I should have aimed there higher or waited for him to.
No, just
He was already turning all of his guns, so I was expecting him to do a turn to shoot all his guns. Well,
And he
so I
didn't.
should have just waited a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. I mean, we wouldn't be educational without taking moments to talk about stuff like that, so.
Right.
All right, well, the cap will appear in a minute. This is arms race, so after a certain period of time, you have the key area appears. And you're in a perfect position to just grab the cap. I would actually slow down here. I would just move at a half speed. There's no need for you to come out in front of the Pommern.
honest. I would actually go full speed and grab the heal.
Well, you can
when I
go
was
for the
going,
heal
I
at the
was
north.
Yeah, I was going for the heal. Depending on what the DD was going for, if it was going to go, then I was mainly trying to stay dark. That's why I shot behind the island. Mainly just trying to avoid. And then, you know, I was going to clear this, and he's turning. So he's going to only be able to fire 2 of his guns.
Yep.
Mainly looking for where that Azuma is. I was kind of afraid where that Azuma was, even though I wasn't afraid of him as a player, but him just locking, you know, sending HE shells from behind that island onto me is going to be really a problem.
Yep. So earlier on, you chose not to. You didn't click on the Pommern. For me, in my experience, I always want to click on any ship I can see, with the idea that that way the bonus is immediate. As soon as they can start shooting, you start working towards that extra dispersion buff, versus waiting for your secondaries to fire first before shooting at the target. So it's a small nuance thing. Just putting that out there.
So I think, I'm rushing this island again, just to keep away from that Pommern secondaries, and then try to focus just on this guy, dealing with him and not having to deal with a Pommern too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've kind of put yourself in a position where you've got to deal with both the Azuma and the Pommern, possibly.
What if you actually went south and just dealt with the Pommern and possibly grabbed the other healer as well?
The problem is he doesn't have his Hydro available. Hey, Venomous.
You're worried about the torps from the Pommern?
Yeah. If he had his Hydro available, it might be a little bit different story.
Yeah, I'm paying attention where that Pommern is. You know, not to come out where I can get, you know, fired on my secondaries and at the same time this guy too.
So, and this comes back to my comment before about going half speed instead of full speed. Like, you would have had a little bit more time to focus on targets and stuff. It's not going to matter here because there goes the Azuma. and you can heal again.
Problem solved, sir.
This is not bad though. This is okay.
Yeah, a whole lot of keep away with this guy. Even though he ate like all my torps that I sent one his the other way, he somehow like those two took out like a bunch of took out that other battleship back there.
Yep.
After normally like you see somebody just rolling into your torps, they're like somebody's gonna take him out. But this guy actually survived long enough.
Be looking at the boundary here, because you know the boundary comes in right over time, just to make sure you're not going to get out of the cap. It doesn't matter because the Palmer wisely comes back into the cap. Bidwiser's doing a nice job of keeping him spotted for you. You're gonna have a nice broadside shot into him here. Oh, he's looking right at you. Oh, he's looking right at you. You want to put your Hydra up now, because you know he's probably gonna luck chuck torps your way, even though they don't have range just yet. Yeah, forget about your
Palmer
torps.
has 380s. That could have been bad.
Yeah. Goodbye, Palmer. Goodbye, Palmer. Victory. That's right, Drift. And torpedo, Hydra doesn't work until torpedo hits the hull, and then Hydra works afterwards.
It's completely factual. It's why we see it in cops all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, the best Hydra is always the one after you got hit with him.
Ah, you reached rank 1 with this game, too.
Yeah.
Which sucks, because now you have to play tier 10. What?
No, this is still tier 9 after this. It's still tier 9.
Still tier 9.
What? Really? Gold League is tier 9 now? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least
cool.
to the next patch, too.
Alright. Yay, almost double the base XP of the second player, which was the Alaska, who died very early. So that's cool. I want to see this. How much damage did you do with your secondaries? Yeah, look at this. So, I think you spec'd in just fine with the Augs mod here.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know how many more shots you would have gotten with the main guns if you use a reload. So it's tough to tell. I just want to say, like, the main battery damage here is not bad at all.
Yep. Bum and Bill, thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. You're right. It's not bad primary damage either. And that's correct. Secondary, I was fixing to get to that. Vladeshi, thank you for pointing that out. The fire damage is also from those secondaries. So then you're looking at almost more than double, right? More than double the damage done from your secondaries versus your main. Now this is just one game. So you want to look at this over multiple games to decide for yourself, is this doing for you what you want it to do?
In ranked, it's probably better than in randoms to have the Aux mod.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Aux mod is just really good.
Fully admit that.
Absolutely. And ranked is where it's at when it comes to, frankly, playing just about any ship, but especially a ship line like this. This is good.
Yeah, this is very specialized.
Mm-hmm. So, Hujam, I'm curious, in your opinion, what made this game so epic that you requested it twice?
It was just a nice little comeback. It looked like, I mean, it's always funny when you get those guys that you recognize in the game. It's just like, okay, this is probably going to be a win for us. But then it kind of turned to where, you call the ship advantages actually worked out like how you said. You said the two weaker ships actually failed as the weaker ships. Like the Rune, well, he's already gone. I don't even know how he died still.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of questionable ship choices for ranked.
Well, look, if it's a tech tree ship, you're grinding up the line. Unless you're,
I know.
Hujam. Anyway, you're grinding up the line. And that's fine. A rune and an Iowa, frankly, in ranked, whatever. Grind up the line. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Your games are faster. Your XP and credit earnings per minute are essentially higher in ranked than randoms. So by all means, play ranked and use those ships and learn them. That's fine. It's just they're not as good as some of their premium counterparts, but you can't control that.
Right.
And I will say, the Azuma player, I didn't feel like they did much wrong watching this game.
No. Yeah. I'm not saying he's just like, I mean, he's kind of well known, but at the same time, playing in Azuma, you can't really mess it up if you don't get close. Like, if you stay at a marginal distance,
Yep.
if you stay outside of, like, secondary range of any battleship and all that, you should do all right, as long as you don't hang out broadside too much.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
you
a pretty
can't really
safe
mess
play.
it up.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, in the Azuma, you also don't really have that much influence because
Yeah.
just
Honestly,
what the ship
Rune-
is.
Rune wouldn't be that bad if people would always be so close with Rune all the time, just because the torpedoes and the Hydro is such a bait when people see those on their ships that they want to get close.
Yep.
And the ship really can't handle being close,
No.
especially the Rune.
Okay, so your Santander just got whacked, it looked like, by the Pommern early on. Oof.
Right.
I want to see what happens to the Alaska. How did he lose his hit points so magically?
It might have
They're
been from the Schroeder.
delicious.
I mean, he's in the middle of the map.
He's getting chunked by the Alsace, the Schroeder secondaries. Okay, he didn't take a torp.
It might have been the Alsace, because
I
he
think
was
it's the
flat
Alsace.
broadside to the Alsace.
He was. I think it's the
He
Alsace.
moved his ship in a very poor position.
Yeah. So Santander actually gets the kill on the Schroeder. He's going to die in a second. And we missed your Rune dying. Your Rune died already.
Yeah, he died very quickly early, and he was on
Yeah.
a flank, like he went on his own in that direction. So he must have done something to catch somebody's attention while he was crossing an island.
I mean,
To get
it's
clapped so hard.
I've never been a fan of the Rune. Hindenburg I don't mind, but the Rune to me is suffering. I think the biggest problem
The rune
with-
for me is range mod and stay at range.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you know how I generally feel about range mod.
I
So
know.
if I suggest the range mod,
Yeah.
that's all you need to know.
Well, and I do the range mod with the Hindenburg, and I actually like it that way. But I know most people prefer reload. But I like range.
I mean, honestly, I've played range mod. Actually, my personal damage record isn't a range mod.
Yeah.
And I think I was playing it a lot more when they nerfed it the first time, where they dropped the reload. So I started going to range and start playing further and further back.
Yep.
It's not surprising that you get good damage if you get range mod because you can farm from safety and you can farm a lot.
Yeah.
But
One of my
usually if you do
favorites-
that, your battle influence just drops.
One of my favorites was actually using Donskoy with range mod. I had so much good times with that. Just being able to pick off enemies at like ranges that they think they're safe, and then all of a sudden my shells are like, nope, you die. Let's watch this Rune. I want to see what happened to the Rune.
He hit the battle button.
But anyway, is there anything else question mark wise or whatever to talk about hujam in this replay, or is this it?
Not really.
Okay.
I also thought it was epic because this was the rank out game, or not the rank out, the rank one.
Yeah, rank 1 game, absolutely.
A rank 1 game with a comeback and.
Yep.
See, there's
Santander
Rune.
gets chunked. Chad, I have a story I'll tell you about ranked in a little bit. Okay, so right about here, Rune is still not the... Wait, Rune should be detected on Schroeder Hydro. Alsace, right here. Smacks him,
I
but
have
not
a-
so much. He just bleeds to death to Schroeder secondaries and main battery.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was a good chunk from the He got stuck and over angled,
did.
and then
He did. He couldn't even
Gone.
use. He didn't even fire his torpedoes. Huh?
he fired
Use
the
the
left side
torps.
at the Schroeder. I
Use the
think.
torps. All right. Well, hey, thanks for sending the replay in. That was a lot of fun to go through, as always.